The Quality Matters program itself, it's a not-for-profit subscription service providing tools and training for quality assurance of online courses. It was developed actually in the state of Maryland by their higher ed institutions, and who got a FIPSI grant, and then created a nonprofit out of that whole initiative. And it's got a pretty big user base, which I'll show you about in a minute. So what is Quality Matters? It's a set of standards for the design of online and blended courses. It's a peer review process by faculty for reviewing and improving online and hybrid courses, and it's a faculty support tool for instructional development staff. So Quality Matters allows us to focus on the design of the online and blended courses and not the delivery. So why we like it is it's a group of our peers who all teach online presently, who have been certified based on this rubric to help you set up the layout of the online course and make sure that you're not missing things. And we really liked it because it wasn't about the faculty member. It wasn't about your style of teaching. It was about the structure of the course and making sure that it's set up so that students get what they need out of your course. So it's a process. It's faculty driven and peer reviewed. They have their 4 C's, which means it's collaborative, collegial, continuous, and centered. And it's based on best practices and research in blended and online learning that you'll learn more about. It looks at course design, harnessing the power of technology to deliver instruction and promote student learning. QM provides a peer review process. And obviously it's not the complete answer, but it's a good start to any online course. And like I said, it's not about the instructor, it's not about evaluating the faculty. That's a different animal altogether. Quality Matters assumes that all courses will meet their standard eventually. So it's a continuous process, and it's not about pointing out something wrong, it's also about pointing out what's right too, and then going, oh, well, we can make these tweaks and we can move on from here. There's about 530 subscribers. They have 10,000 trained faculty and staff. They're recognized by all of the major distance learning associations. Both Jenny Quarles and I are certified QM folks. We've been taking the classes for the last 9 months or so, and I'm in my 10th or 11th class right now, wishing I hadn't taken so many, but you know, you get overwhelmed by it. There's just some of the states that they operate in. I won't bore you with that. So let me talk about the basics of QM, which gets a little bit more into the meat of it. So there are 8 key areas or general standards of course quality that they evaluate the courses by. There are 41 specific review standards within those 8 areas that your course would be evaluated on. There are 21 non-negotiable ones, just critical ones that QM has found that it has to be in every course for it to pass QM approval. And there's a detailed set of annotations and examples of good practice for all 41 standards. That is what is in this book, which we're going to give you all today. I can only give you one because they're expensive, but it's got a lot of information, and I hope you find it valuable. So here's the 8 standards. Course overview and introduction, learning objectives, assessment and measurement, instructional materials, learner interaction and engagement, course technology, learner support, and accessibility. One of the cool things about QM is it forces you to look at your content and align your objectives to what the actual activities are in your class. And what I learned when I started to look at some of my own courses is I had students completing work that wasn't tied to objectives. I had them doing neat activities that weren't actually tied sometimes to the objective of the course. And in an online course, as many of you know as online instructors, it's a lot more work than face-to-face, so you need to find ways to trim out the fat as much as possible. So this shows you how to do it in a really interesting way. There's a lot of uses for the rubric. that's in this book. It's good for course development checklists, faculty development. We're going to use it here to do course reviews, and ultimately we want to review all of our online courses because one, we don't. Two, our accrediting body says we have to. Three, our soon to be no longer, well, maybe he still is the president yet, I don't know, but he resigned. When he first started, our president got a letter from SAC saying, you're in violation of online. So we want to demonstrate that we want to be on the right track and we want to review all our courses. Initially, that starts with Jenny and I in a small initial cohort of faculty here to review the courses, but we ultimately want in each of your disciplines to have a Quality Matters certified expert work with just your department. So you'd have a group of your own peers working with you. So course reviews, this is the overview of what the cycle looks like. You start with a course that gets chosen to be reviewed. It gets reviewed based on national standards and research. There's the rubric that I'm going to hand out to you in a few minutes. There are faculty reviewers. There are always 3 people involved in a review of a course, all of whom have to be current online teachers. One, there's a master reviewer who's done reviews for QM before that has to be on it. There has to be a subject matter expert, someone who knows your discipline, and then another person who's usually a certified reviewer from your school, but at least one of those folks have to be from a different institution. So it's really a neat process. So you go through the peer course review, you get feedback on all 41 elements. So even if your course is wonderful, you're going to get some feedback that says, oh, that's a neat way to do it, I do it this way, blah, 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 so that you have input from another peer, and it's not just someone going, well, this is wrong, fix it, because that doesn't help anyone. That's not collegial, it's not collaborative. And then once you're done with the feedback, the course will meet Quality Matters expectations, and then after a couple of years, you may want to review it again. But it's sort of a continuous improvement process that assumes that all courses will eventually meet Quality Matters' rubrics. So we have unofficial reviews and official reviews. I could talk to you more about that some other time. I already told you about the different peer reviewers. So there's 3 QM certified peer reviewers. There's a chair who's a master reviewer. One is a subject matter expert, and at least one must be from another institution. And then I already explained a little bit about the peer feedback, and it's meant to have that collegial tone and language. The rubric is pretty rigorous, but it's not anything that's crazy. Like it says, when your students first walk into your online class, there should be something that says start here. Because what we found is that people who have really rich and content-dense courses often set up these great courses yet have no indication of what students should do when they get there. And then they see this giant mass of content and they're like, ah, and they run for the hills. So it's just some little things like that that make up those 41 criteria. So you get points awarded for each of the 41 standards. There are those 21 non-negotiables. You basically have 2 to 3 reviewers rate each one. If 2 agree that it's fine, then you get the full credit for that standard. There's just those 21 that has to have been met. And then you have the course must receive at least an 85% to pass recognition for QM. And they chose 85% because they want to acknowledge that it's always a work in progress, and no course is perfect. And then the course reviews can take a while, and eventually you can get recognized and acknowledged by QM. There's a lot of schools who use it, a lot of schools that we respect, so we were very happy to get to it. So that is Quality Matters in a nutshell.